DGCA has announced a revised set of norms for refund of air tickets. Here are the key highlights. The existing 24-hour window for making changes or cancelling a ticket for free, also called a look-in window, has been extended to 48 hours. Remember, this clause was introduced for the first time when the government unveiled the first ever passenger charter of rights for air travel in 2019, offering compensation during flight delays and cancellations. However, this particular look-in window applies only to bookings made at least 7 days prior to departure for domestic flights and 15 days prior to departure for international flights. Point number 2. And this is an interesting one. Passengers who cancel air tickets due to their own illness or those of a co-passenger booked on the same ticket will also be entitled to a full refund. The Civil Aviation Regulation, or CAR, states, in the event of a ticket cancellation due to a medical emergency where the passenger or a family member listed on the same PNR gets admitted or hospitalized during the travel period, airlines may provide either a refund or a credit shell. For other medical grounds requiring a traveler to cancel their ticket where there has been no hospitalization, refunds will be processed only after the airline's aeromedicine specialist or a DGCA impaneled aeromedicine expert reviews the passenger's fitness to travel. Point number 3. The regulator has also made airlines solely responsible for processing refunds even when tickets are booked through travel agents or booking portals. This is important because we have seen in the past that flight cancellations by airlines have left passengers' money stuck with travel agents or portals, most notably during the collapse of Go First and Jet Airways, when agents argued that they were unable to process refunds because they had already made advance payments to airlines. While laying out all these benefits, the DGCA in its CAR says that these would be applicable when bookings are made through airline websites, but it is likely that the agents as well as online travel portals may offer the same benefits. Otherwise, they stand a chance of losing these passengers to the airline website. The rules have retained the provision for free name change within 24 hours. The final rules, notified on February 2026, came after months of stakeholder discussion. The DGCA had earlier issued a draft on October 31st, 2025. So this is not directly related to the large-scale flight cancellations we saw in November and December by Indigo, where as many as 5,000 flights were cancelled and more than 6 lakh passengers were affected. Stronger safeguards are still needed, particularly in cases of flight cancellations and delays. As seen during the Indigo disruption, many passengers were forced to book alternate flights at several times the original fare and make last-minute hotel arrangements at their own expense. The current compensation scheme for such events is far from adequate. This is what the Charter of Passenger Rights currently offers. In case of a flight cancellation where an airline informs a passenger with more than 2 weeks left for departure, the airline need only offer refund or an alternate ticket. In case of a flight cancellation within 24 hours of scheduled departure, the compensation is between 5,000 to 10,000 rupees depending on the duration of your flight. In case of delays, where a delay is between 2 hours to 4 hours, airlines are required to offer free refreshment and hotels if necessary. If there is a delay of more than 6 hours, airlines have to offer an alternative flight within those 6 hours or a full refund. If total delay exceeds 24 hours from scheduled departure, or if there is a more than 6-hour delay for a night flight scheduled between 8 p.m. and 3 a.m., airlines are also required to offer a hotel accommodation. There is no compensation for delays. If you're downgraded on a flight, there is some compensation. This feature was introduced in 2023 following a spate of complaints against Air India. With last-minute booking proving to be expensive, the compensation scheme currently is weak. Many have demanded a European Union-like policy, as even the US does not have a standardized compensation regime. So let's look at what EU Regulation 261 states. If there is a flight cancellation and a passenger is not informed about it at least 14 days before the scheduled time of departure, airlines are liable to pay 250 to 600 euros depending on the flight distance. For delays, where there is a delay of more than 4 hours, passengers are also entitled to the same compensation amount. However, global airlines strongly oppose EU norms as being punitive. And that shows how regulators are faced with the delicate task of balancing stronger passenger protections with the operational realities of running an airline. Yet, with the Supreme Court of India hearing a PIL on airfare spikes and calling ticket pricing quote-unquote exploitative, and the Competition Commission of India probing Indigo over allegations of abusing its dominant position during widespread cancellations late last year, the pressure for reform is mounting. In a duopoly where Air India and Indigo control 93% of the market share, a more robust passenger rights framework could also help address public anger and restore confidence. That's all for now. For more news and updates, log on to our YouTube channel.